So to transform Megatron, I'm going to try to be as clear as I can because it can get a little bit finicky in some particular areas. But the really good thing about Megatron is that he transforms in sections. And what I mean by that is that you'll finish, for example, the back section, and then you move on to his arms, and they're all sectioned off. And once you have all those particular sections done, you can actually use those completed sections to form his gun mode. And Megatron, it is a little bit tough because all the joints are actually pretty tight, especially around the waist, which you will see in a moment. But you know, all in all, to get this, you know, dynamic, really good looking bot mode, it definitely is, you know, worth it. You know, we've had a lot of complaints about, you know, this top area, especially this top area here being, you know, a little bit messy. The back, yes, I'm not gonna lie, it's ugly. I'm not really a fan of it, but at the end, you know, to get this really accurate, really excellent looking robot mode, I think it's a fair trade-off. So to transform him, you start off at the back, and what you need to do is you bring the back piece up like that. You bring the barrel all the way down like that. You take this piece here, you fold that out like that, and then you take both the left and the right pieces and you fold them up like that. Next, what you want to do is you want to take these side panels and you want to flip them out, and as you flip them out like that, you turn them in like that. Do the same for the other side. Flip it out, turn it, flip it out. So once you got that done, it should look like that on the back. Okay, now we move on to the front part, and what you need to do is you take Megatron's chest and you turn it clockwise like that, and then you push it up against and inside his chest, and you can see those hinges. That's what makes the chest piece collapse. Okay, once we have him in that position, what you want to do is we're going to turn him back around, and the two pieces on the left and the right that form the sides of his body, what you want to do is you want to bring them in. But before that, you want to move the arms out of the way. You want to bring them in like so. You want to flip these parts down like that, and then you want to twist up like that, and then you push both pieces together and there's a tab right there, and that pushes in to secure it, and that forms the top part of the gun. So when we get into this position, what you want to do, or what we're going to do, is we're going to fold up these two pieces here, the red parts of his side. And what you have to do is you take the shoulders and you detach them and you bring them down so it gives clearance for the red sides to fold up into his body. And as you can see, they're actually stuck, or, you know, if you try to take them out, they're going to be stuck in between the sides like that. So what you have to do is you got to crunch him just a little bit, and that should give you enough clearance to fold it up all the way in that cavity like that. And you do the same for the other side. Bring it all the way up and inside like that. And that's the main body done. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the arms. So what you do is you bring the shoulder piece, one of the shoulder pieces, the one that you want to transform, back into the body, just for now. And this top piece here, you bring it, fold it down until it's in that position. You take this whole piece here and you bring it back like so. And what you have to do next is bring the arm 90 degrees, then out that way like that. And then you can bring that part from underneath here, fold it under like so, and then you bring that top part, this part here, and push it in until it snaps. And next you take this whole panel and you fold it up. It's a bit tight, but it folds up like that. So next we're gonna transform the forearm, and what you need to do is you need to bring down this panel so it opens up a cavity for you to put inside the fist. You need to actually transform the fingers in a correct way. What you have to do is you fold in the thumb first, and then the rest of the fingers follow, so it forms a fist that looks kind of like that. Then you twist it so the fingers are facing up, and then you fold the fist inside like so. You push the forearm in like that so it sits flush with that panel there. You take this top panel here, turn that around like that, and flip this panel like that. And that's one arm done. So we're going to do the same for the other shoulder. Bring the shoulder part back into the body like so. Take this top part, flip it, undo the back of the arm like so. Turn the shoulder 90 degrees, then flip it out like that. You take this piece right here and you turn it in until you hear a click like so, and then you bring this whole panel here all the way up like that. Open up the forearm panel, transform the hands. Remember, first the thumb, then the rest of the fingers. Fold in the hand, push in the forearm to connect to the shoulder, and then take the piece that would usually hold the fusion cannon and twist it around. And I took off the fusion cannon just to make the transformation easier. but you can actually do the transformation with the fusion cannon on. But I think it makes things a lot simpler to do, to transform, you know, not having a really big scope that can get in the way. So we're almost done with the top half of the transformation. What you have to do now when you're in this position is you're going to bring the shoulders back down again. You're going to detach them, and you're going to clear up some space here so you can bring the back to the front. So you turn Megatron around, and the hinge is here. You bring the back piece all the way up, and then you separate the side panels out like that, and you bring it all the way to the front. This next section of bringing everything together, there are actually 4 tabs. One tab here, another tab there. There is a tab right there, and there is also one small tab right here near the barrel that goes inside this hole right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in this panel that doesn't have the barrel, and we are going to push it in until it sits flush like that. And then we're going to bring in, but before we bring in this side panel here, you want to push in the top of the barrel piece so it sits flush like that, and then we can start closing it up. Okay. Yep, everything clicked. So the tab on the side, the tab on the bottom of the barrel, the base of the bottom of the barrel, and the tab that was in this section here went inside the hole. So you're going to make sure all 4 tabs close to get that nice solid transformation, and everything tabs in correctly. And then after that, all you need to do is you need to twist the barrel, you know, to form the front of the gun. And that's it. That's the main body, the upper torso pretty much done. We're going to move on to the legs next. Okay guys, so on to the legs. And for me personally, this part is probably one of the most difficult. I wouldn't say difficult, but in terms of how tight the joints are, and you'll see in a moment, you need to take the most care with. So let's get on with it. Okay guys, so we're going to start with the feet, and what you need to do is you take the bottom of the foot and you pull it out like that. Pull out the heel piece like so, and then you want to tilt. You want to tilt the front of the foot just enough so it clears up a space in between here, so you can use that swivel and bring it all the way around like that, and then you're left with this kind of floppy die-cast piece right there. So we're going to leave that aside, and then next what we want to do is we want to take this top piece here and swing it to the side. We're going to break up the actual shin part itself too. It's kind of tight, but all you need to do is just separate it, and it separates like that. This section here, you're going to want to bring it out like so, and this middle section collapses in like that. So let's turn Megatron around, and what we have to do now is we're gonna take this middle section, press down here, and it should come out. You want to take this piece, and there is a hinge here, and you flip this panel out like so, and you want to bring this whole back piece all the way, be careful here, all the way down like so. So it frees up these two panels, which we're going to collapse next. So bring them back to the front, and what you want to do with these two panels, like I mentioned earlier, is that you want to collapse them, and all you really need to do is just push this one up and kind of pull this one down simultaneously, and it snaps, and there you have a thinner leg section. After that, you turn Megatron back around, bring that middle piece, push it back in place, and it should fit nice and firm and flush with the panels on the side. You want to bring the die cast piece and pull it all the way underneath the bottom of the leg. Push that up, and then push that to the side, to the front of the leg. And for now, it's a little bit loose, and it'll tend to come out during transformation, during the rest of the transformation. But for now, that is the right side of the leg done. Okay, so let's move on to the next leg. So again, feet, bring that down, flip out the spurs, tilt the leg forward, just enough so you can spin that bottom piece around to the front, and then just let it hang like that. Spin the front piece to the side. Oops. Break apart the front of the leg. Bring down this part here. Flip that. Push the middle of the shin and collapse it inside the panel. Turn around. Pop out the middle section. Flip out the back panel. Bring it all the way down like that. Turn it back around. Again, collapse the two panels together. Turn it back around again. Push the back part until it sits flush with the side panel. Bring the foot all the way around to the back and inside the leg. Push that up, and then push the rest towards the leg like that. So this next part is the part I think you probably want to take the most care with, and it's because what we're going to do is we're going to collapse the thighs, the upper legs together to form the base of the gun, and it's actually quite tight, bringing those two hip joints down is actually really tight. And what I've seen online and actually on TFW 2005 is that there's a screw that actually holds those two joints together. If you get a screwdriver and give it, you know, 1 or 2 turns, it actually loosens up that middle hip joint, and makes it a lot easier for you to transform and for you to bring those hip joints down, and, you know, really relieves it from a lot of unneeded stress. So I really recommend doing that when you actually get to this section of the transformation. So in the instructions, they actually tell you to bring down the hip joints, the hips, in this next step. But I find that it's easier if you actually transform these parts first, the side panels and the back panel, and just move it out of the way, bring it to the front like that, and it just gives you more, I guess, grip to hold on to those upper leg and hip joints when you bring it down. So what you want to do is you want to get a good grip and kind of bring that hip joint down. Just do the same, and that felt a lot easier now than the first time that I actually did it. It was really tough for me to actually bring those two hip joints down. But once you've got them down, just collapse them, bring them into the middle, and there are tabs on the side, one here and one there, and you just slot them into the holes. And there's also another tab on the back of the foot. Just kind of bring it together, and you just line that up. Make sure you got the bottom tab as well. Bring that together, and it should look something like this. Okay, from this position, what we're going to do is we're going to do all of this panel folding, which can be kind of tricky and kind of hard to remember, but let's get at it. So what you want to do is you want to bring this panel here, flip that to the front, bring that down, then you want to flip the side panel, flip it up, turn it inward, and then at the bottom there, if you can see, there is another panel there. You flip that out like that, and that's one side done. So it should look like that. Okay, so let's go on to the other side. So again, flip that out, bring it down, flip that side panel up, slide it inward, flip this bottom panel up, and then now we have both sides done. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring those into the middle like that, and then we're going to flip these down for now. And what this is going to do is it's going to free up some space so we can turn the main body 180, and then you turn it all the way around, like that. Okay, so from this position we're going to actually bring these two panels up just slightly like that, and then the shoulder pieces, if they're locked in, you want to bring them down like so. So it frees up that middle space right there, and we can bring this piece up towards Megatron's, or the back of Megatron's head, and that forms the trigger part of the gun. From here we're going to collapse the thigh pieces. These sections here actually collapse in so the base of the gun can go into the body like that. So it's a little tricky to do, but if you press on the top parts here, and you might actually have to separate the two pieces, I find that it's easier to do it separately like that, and just break it in, and then you can attach or snap the two base pieces back together. So then you can just slowly bring, and before you bring it all the way in, you want to make sure that, sorry, it's kind of hard to see, but these two kind of panels here, you want to actually bring them as close as you can together so they can actually go into this section here. So you just want to bring them in as close as you can, and then slowly push up until it sits. And this part goes into that part there. Like so. Okay, so when you get it into this position, we are almost done. There are only two major parts that you have to do. You want to fold in these two panels, and there is a tab that goes inside here like that. It snaps in. Actually, sorry, there are two tabs, one tab here and one tab at the bottom, and again you just fold that in and make sure that goes in nice and flush. You take this middle piece in here and you flip it in, and then all you have to do now is bring these two arm pieces in, which can be a little bit tricky, but I find it if you bring it in from the bottom, it should snap in. And there's a tab which goes inside that hole. You just kind of fiddle with it until it slots in, and then you do that with the other side. Okay guys, so I actually went away for a while off camera, and I was kind of finding it a little bit difficult to push this left side into the main body, and the main reason was because when you have this panel folded to the handle of the gun, when you try to actually push and this part of the arm into the main body, this black panel here rubs against the top of the side panel here, and it actually kind of blocks the transformation. So I found it easier to actually get that panel out of the way like that. Just push it to the side, then you can actually bring it up and it goes in, for me anyway, a little smoother than actually having it already transformed and attached to the actual handle first. So once you have it into the body, you just kind of push all those panels in, snap everything in place. You want to bring that part up here. And that, everyone, is pretty much it. We are done with the gun mode.